Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So while I'm still working on the cursed Halo only grenades video, I promise it's coming along, I'm just a perfectionist, I decided to do this viewer submitted run to fill in the space in between. The challenge being, can you beat Halo 3 with only brute weapons? Thank you Spartan1337 for the idea. In Halo 3, brutes use a wide variety of different weapons, so I'm only going to allow the weapons that look brutish in nature. Don't know what that means? Well, let me explain. What I mean by brutish in nature is the weapons that you see the brutes and only the brutes using, and that have the black and silver color palette to them. So the only weapons I'm allowing are the Spiker, Mauler, Brute Shot, Gravity Hammer, and Spike Grenades. I also allowed the use of the Chopper's guns, but that is the only vehicle weapon I'm allowed. So let's get to the rules. Only the brute weapons I just listed up above, Chopper guns included. No melee grenades or vehicle weapons. Allies and vehicles are allowed, looking at you ZZ. No power drain, auto turret, or trip mine. And it's on normal difficulty. This run will probably end up being easier than most, but we will see. Now let's get into it. Starting out, I have a bunch of Marines and Arbiter with me, so getting my hands on a Spiker should be pretty easy.
The prophets are liars.
Seriously, already? Okay, let's try this again. My crew killed the brute here for me and I got my hands on the Spiker, and I found a golden MOA by accident. Typically when I use the Spiker on a normal playthrough of the game, I rely on its melee because of the blades it has on it. But since I can't do that this time around, I realize how bad the Spikers really are. Almost an entire clip to kill one brute. But because of that fact, I decided to dual wield them whenever I got the chance. I make it to the riverfront and die here far more times than I care to count. I get my hands on a brute shot, skip a lot of the enemies I don't have to fight, and continue on as normal. I made it to the section where Johnson and his crew are being held, and my main priority was to kill the brute chieftain as fast as possible to get his hammer. That was easier said than done, but Arbiter, being the best ally that he is, killed the chieftain for me. Sweet, I got my hands on the gravity hammer. Okay, let's try that again. I free Johnson and company, send him and Arbiter into the river, and hop in the Pelican. Nothing to see here, just ignoring your gunfire. I did a lot of ignoring this mission and didn't get any hands, I did a lot of ignoring this mission and didn't get my hands on a Spiker until I got into the hangar. I slowly but surely kill everything in here by shooting them with hot metal rods and finally let the Marines escape. You know what goes well with molten metal? Bugs. That doesn't even make any sense. Why'd I put that in there? Once I cleared the room of the drones, I went to the barracks to get rid of the infestation of brutes. I dual wield my way to victory, get sent to the moon by the chieftain, and get my hands on his gravity hammer. Once in the barracks, it took me a while to get out of here because Spiker bad and didn't want to waste my hammer ammo. I did decide to bite the bullet though and use a little bit of my hammer. Take this, and this, and this, and I head up the elevator and patiently wait at this door to pick up an invisibility equipment, not before giving these brutes a taste of their own medicine. I sneak up on the Covenant in the Ops Center and rearm the bomb. The rest of the mission should go without saying. I ignored everything on my way to the elevator and completed this level. Unfortunately, my weapons didn't carry over from the last mission, so that sucks, but oh well. Alright, time to hit the road. I said hit the road, not Randy! So for the majority of this level, I just sped through everything and allowed my Marines on the Warthog to kill enemies for me. And like I listed in the rules, I am allowing my AI allies to help me when they're in the vehicles. It does technically get counted as my own kill in the in-game roster, but I'm allowing this little caveat because if I didn't in some of these videos, then they wouldn't be possible. Besides, it's only technical, so you'll get over it. I did. Anyway, I got to the final section and hopped in a chopper and drove to the crashed Pelican. Yep. Challenge. Whoops. To start, I hopped in the driver's seat of the Warthog, relied on my Marines yet again, picked up a Spiker, and continued to rely on my Marines. In no time, I made it to the Mongooses. Mongeese? Mongai? I got in the driver's seat of one of them and again relied on my Marines. Once the Scarab arrived, I wasn't having much luck. I died a lot and all the Marines couldn't agree on which leg to shoot, so they shot all of them. Finally, I made it on the Scarab. What are you all doing here? I got back on the Scarab, destroyed it, then made quick work of all these brutes. The hunters also weren't really hard. Just hide here, then mow them down with the dual Spikers and you're good. I take advantage of this plasma battery to easily kill the chieftain and get the hammer. When I did kill the chieftain, he dropped his invincibility equipment, so I put that to good use by activating it near the anti-air cannon and destroyed the vent with no trouble at all. So, Floodgate. I got a hammer right from the start and sped through this level while slamming any flood that dared block my path. Easy level. Let's move on to the end game. Of course, I don't start with any of the required weapons, so I book it to the Covenant weapons crate, pick up a Spiker, barely escape the onslaught of bullets coming my way, kill this brute, and get a brute shot. I hopped in this mongoose and raced past everything to get in this chopper, and once I was in the chopper, the section here was a walk in the park. By using the chopper, it made this section with the anti-air wraiths a lot easier. Oh well. Miranda made her way down with the frigate and I chose to stay in my chopper. Destroying wraith after wraith with the chopper guns was easy but time consuming. Things are going nicely though, so I can't complain. That was unfortunate. Let's try that again.
You're also our ticket through this wall.
I died quite a bit here, so I decided to take a safer route and fire from very far behind. This again took a while, but it worked. Once inside, I activated the bridge to let my allies across, and now there's another scarab. Great. After descending the hills with my marine on the Goshawk turret, we reached the scarab. Now, while I said I would allow the chopper guns in this run, for this fight alone, I decided not to use them just because why not? Now, my strategy here was to use the grav lift and use the chopper's boost to get myself on the scarab, and it went well.
Back waiting, let's go behind that. Light it up, Chief. Back waiting, let's go.
Once I did destroy the scarab, and successfully, I got back in the Goshawk and wiggled my way through the building with it. That didn't last very long because I got stuck in this hallway where there's a hidden skull. I made more quick work of the Covenant in here, activated the cutscene, then skipped it, and made even more quick work of the Covenant in here as well. And I finally got my hands on a Mauler. And I finally got my hands on a Mauler. I killed the chieftain in record time and got his hammer, then proceeded to eviscerate his pack. With his pack being nothing more than a distant memory now, that cues the cutscene and we're on to the next level. To start this mission, I gave my Spartan laser over to one of my ODSTs and patiently waited for a brute weapon to be available. I got my hands on a spiker and dual wielded them for some style points. I killed the brutes with no problem and got another Mauler, however you pronounce that. And did you know that the backs of Wraiths are weak as shit? If you didn't know, now you know. I hop in the Warthog with some Marines and drive to the first tower. I run past the Covenant blocking the doorway and pick up the invisibility equipment lying around. I perform a little skip here by using my grenades to move the Covenant weapons crate in position to make this tight jump. Now that I'm heading up, I got cloaked and then got. Okay, let's try this again. Second time around went much better, and I shouldn't even say it, but I got the gravity hammer once again. With this first tower down, that leaves just one. I make my way back down the hills in a mongoose and hop in a falcon. Hornet, fuck. I forgot what button it was to lower the Dude, did I really write falcon this entire? Yep, I did. I forgot what button it was to lower the Hornet, so I accidentally drowned Chief. Once I made to the third tower, taking out the anti-air wraith was actually very easy. I threw a spike grenade on the gunner, then used my hammer to kill the driver. The elite flew in and destroyed the other wraith for me, so that takes care of that problem. Thankfully, I had some backup here because there was an overabundance of brutes at the entrance, but due to still having my hammer, they were all easy to take out anyways. By using a deployable shield, that allowed for me to bypass the first floor and head up. I killed the brutes up here with no issue, and now there's the flood. I head back down the elevator and hop in a Goshawk and drive past all the Covenant to get to the scarabs. By using the Hornet to fly over to each scarab, I was able to take out both of them with no problem. I just flew over them, shot the weak spot, and flew away. Inside the Citadel wasn't very hard either. There was plenty of ammo and even another chieftain with a hammer, so I got a new one of those. I got to the bridge, skipped the cutscene, then ran back to the elevator and finished out this level. The start of Cortana, I still had my weapons from the end of the last level, so I just hung on to those for as long as I could. I ran past a lot of the flood encounters and used my hammer to help me get past the flood tanks in the open room here. I ran past all the flood in the reactor room, picked up an invisibility, and released Cortana from her torment.
You found me.
When I got back to the reactor room, I destroyed all of the reactors with my brute shot and ran for the Pelican. My boy Arby came to help as well, and I got a little inspiration for another video because of him. We escaped High Charity, and now we're on the final level. I didn't start with any brute weapons, but I just had to wait for Arbor to kill the flood with the gravity hammer, which was easier said than done. Eventually, I did get my hands on the hammer and a brute shot later on. The fight on top of the control room tower was relatively easy, but I was running low on ammo a lot of the time. So like I mentioned every other Halo 3 run I've done so far, the Guilty Spark boss fight can only be done with the Spartan laser. Besides that boss fight, the rest of the level was possible with only brute weapons. I picked up a spiker outside of the control room and killed any flood standing in my way. When I got to Johnson's Warthog, I took it to this mongoose to take that instead, so it would make it easier to not accidentally hit any flood on the way to the frigate. Man, Arbiter, would you look at that sky?
Percent charged.
I made the jump the second time around, and the rest of the level was over after that point. I made it to the frigate and the run was over. So was Halo 3 only brute weapons possible? Yeah, it was. This one comes as no surprise really, especially because I allowed the chopper guns, but that's alright. Need to learn to take it easy and have fun with these runs. But thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.